Welcome to the Nancy Perspective, where every story is a reminder that life's hardest battles often belong to the kindest hearts. Welcome back to part 2 with Jule Shanks. We have had a powerful discussion about your falls to the ground, or what you call your dark night of the soul, your rises, your beautiful past filled with a lot of crap. I call it beautiful because it's allowed you to be who you are. And yet the work that you still do daily to ensure that that is good, and yet the purpose and passion that you continue to do and share with others. And I want to chat a little bit about that in this next episode. But while we were on break, we had a powerful conversation, and I remember this well, and I want to bring it to the forefront. So you talked about that relationship fall, but then I noticed a ring on your finger. But I also remember seeing it on Facebook, and I want you to tell the viewers why you have a ring on your finger.
I'm married.
You're married. Okay. And
it's an unusual marriage.
It's an unusual marriage. So
Yeah.
Tell me about that unusual marriage.
Okay. I'll start at the beginning.
Okay.
I had a dream that I got married to myself.
Okay.
And I woke up and I told my son, and I said, wow, I don't normally remember my dreams. And I was like, wow, that was really neat. I was saying my vows into a mirror. And he just listened, and he was like, okay. Mom's weird. And then I had the same dream.
Wow.
I can't remember, a few days later, and I have a friend who happens to be a shaman, and I was talking to him, and I told him about it, and he said, wow, I think Spirit is telling you that you are on your path of self-love.
Wow.
And that really spoke to me. That really hit me. Yeah. And I told my son that I had this conversation with the shaman, and he was like, well, maybe you need to have a wedding, Mom. And he was joking.
And you weren't.
And I called my best friend in Toronto, Stacy, and I said, will you be my wedding planner?
Oh my goodness.
And she got so much fun, got all the girls on board. When you get the girls on board, they just descend. And so someone made this gorgeous red velvet wedding cake, tiered wedding cake.
Wow.
I had this ring made. Someone made my wedding dress. I had a beautiful venue. I had bridesmaids. I had people perform. I had a live band. My son walked me down the aisle on the beach.
Goodness.
Sunset at Blue Forest Shores in East Adore. And I had 50 people in attendance and wedding invite. I had a whole full-blown wedding on June 11th, 2022. And I said my vows into a mirror.
Wow.
And I cried the whole time. And I don't think too many people were left with, not without being touched in some way by that experience, just witnessing.
I bet. I think that is a powerful affirmation of love for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know about you, but my self-love journey started at the age of 37. I didn't have the childhood you did. I was very blessed for the childhood I had, but I had my own trauma.
Of course.
And one of the things that I was not good at was love of self.
Right.
I was really good at handing it to others, really good at giving everything away, but I had zero for myself. I suffered with chronic, I would say, eating disorder issues my whole life, and just always looked in the mirror and criticized until I woke up one day and realized that I was the key to unlocking it all. And my journey is different than yours. Yours is incredibly powerful that you did that. But that journey back to self-love, or the journey of self-love daily, really does shift our souls.
Oh, yes.
Right? And it is a continued journey.
Oh, it's never ending.
Yeah. And I bet, I can't imagine how your guest reacted to that day.
lots of different reactions. People were from different ethnicities
Yep.
in attendance, and so everyone had their like cultural filters. And
Wow.
yeah, and I heard some people like, you know, there was this sort of idea from a couple of people that I might be egotistical.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
And then others really started talking to me about like, what does self-love mean? Wow, I'm starting to think about like, do I love myself?
Yeah, I know.
And my son, when there were speeches at the end, he said, you've taught me what self-love looks like. And
Yeah.
you know, for I don't know, he was 17, 16 at the time, like for him to say that, like look at me and say that, like
it's all that matters.
Yeah.
Right. I think that it's funny that you talk about the ego and this, you know, when I started my self-love journey, I think the word selfish was applied to me quite a bit. But the more that I did pull that energy back, and I want to talk about our kids, because I think that's the more I watched my kids flourish, they didn't know what that was because they were younger at the time. But the more power of love I gave myself, the more they were just starting to exude it.
Seeds.
And I'll tell you the day for me that shifted everything with that self-love, because, you know, we did talk about the mirror. We didn't talk about it right now, but the mirror reflection that we bring to ourselves and to our children is such a beautiful thing that when we do the work, they get the work automatically. But I will say the big thing for self-love or acceptance of myself was the word perfection. So I had went through this weekend where I was working on healing the part of me that felt like I needed to be perfect. And the entire weekend I did my rituals, my journaling, my meditation, whatever I needed to do to release it. And the week later, one of my daughter's teachers said, I need to speak with you. And I said, okay. And she said, it's almost like your daughter dropped perfection this week.
Oh my God.
And I was like, pardon? And I started to realize how powerful the work was, and how powerful getting rid of those things and truly embracing who I was just as I am was. What an incredible thing for you to do, though. Maybe I should get married to myself. I don't feel like it's coming for me, right? So I think that there's a huge opportunity.
Well, you don't have to do big, you know, affair like I did.
But why not?
Well, no, I mean, that's the kind of person
what I
am.
remember of you of Facebook. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. But I think that transitions nicely into what you do now.
Yes.
Because what you do now takes what did you call it? Naive fearlessness. That's my new thing, and I'm not going to be good at saying it, but it really does. So you cracked into this as a result of ayahuasca, understanding what your purpose is, going through this yourself, and now sharing it to the world. So share with us what it is that you do and how you bring this to others.
Okay. So I'm a sex, intimacy, and relationship coach.
Okay.
Trained in the somatica method. And
could have used you 10 years ago.
Oh.
So could everyone else.
Right?
Yeah.
As we said before, like relationships, Esther Perel, who's one of my teachers.
My mother loves her. My mother would love you.
She says the quality of our life is equal to the quality of our relationships. And I don't think we
Can you say that again for us? I think it's really important.
The quality of our life is equal to the quality of our relationships.
Yeah, that hits. Okay.
It really, when we're on our deathbed, what are we looking back at? Not all of the money we have in the bank, but the relations, the quality of our relationships. Yeah. The people that we loved.
Wholeheartedly agree.
How much we loved.
Yeah.
How we loved. And I don't think we give enough importance to that. I mean, we're not taught any of this.
We're not taught. We're taught how to be successful, make money.
Right.
Ego.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
None
of it.
Not matter.
No, it does not.
And so ayahuasca really showed me my priorities.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and how to have a more fulfilling life. And that is to focus on relationships.
Wow.
And so I started studying psychology. I started studying psychology about 10 years prior, but doing lots of courses for myself. But I finally enrolled, like quit, my career and gave my all to going back to school for a couple of years, learning sex coaching in the somatica method, which is completely different than other types of coaching.
Yep.
because somatics, it's
Yep.
in the body. So I am actually, are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm so ready. Hold on. Okay.
I'm a surrogate partner.
Wow. So what does that mean to me? Because I'm
What
sitting
does
here
that
going,
mean?
I kind of understand, but I don't. So tell me more.
Right. So I'm an embodiment coach. So I teach intimacy skills through being intimate. Yeah,
Okay.
because that's the way we learn.
Well, so I used to be a trainer, and
Right.
we learn through doing.
You can't just read about it. You
No.
can't just like hear about it. You
No,
have to
to do it.
embody it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, there are hard, strict rules.
Of course
right?
there are.
Yeah. But I enter into relationship with all of my clients.
Wow.
And I teach them through, like, I'm a
You.
traumatized person.
Yeah.
And the likelihood of them also being with someone who has trauma, you know, maybe different
Absolutely.
from mine.
Yeah.
And so we work with what we have.
Wow.
And I show them what to do and how to do it. But
so you become a part of it.
Yes.
Until you're not
a real
like a
part of it. So
wow.
there's like I oscillate between being a parent,
yeah,
like teaching
Yeah.
through like giving wisdom, imparting wisdom,
Yeah.
heart-centered wisdom,
Yeah.
but also through partnership.
That's incredible.
I know. It's mind-blowing. It's very cutting edge.
It's very cutting edge.
It's totally different. And it's quick.
Well, because when you learn when you do it, it makes a big difference. So, gosh, there are so many questions going through my head right now. So how long do you stay with people?
In order to really rewire like deeply embedded patterns cemented since childhood, because a lot of this stuff comes from childhood, right?
Yeah.
That's where it's all the patterning, the programming happens. And so it probably takes consistent effort for about 2 years.
Wow.
But you can see like small shifts immediately.
Yeah, I bet you can.
Yeah. So it's not only about technique. No, it's about embodying somebody who's more aligned with who that person is.
Yeah.
Like I don't project any like you should be this way.
No.
It's like what feels good to you.
Wow.
Yeah, what turns you on? What are your desires? And we work with that. I help people interpret the signals of their own bodies, basically, because we're just kind of severed heads walking around and you know, trying to make decisions logically, which doesn't...
So you and I spoke when you walked in my door today about Joe Dispenza. And so I'm doing a lot of courses of his right now. And one of the things he talks about is the fact that most of us live in survival.
Yeah.
And when we live in survival, the energy around us is very separate because it's so small, because we are not embodying the divine or what did you call it? The channel, the field. Yes. And so by not embodying that field, we're really separate from each other. Right. And so this whole concept of being open to the field and being open to what is something I feel that you have embraced very openly, right?
To you have empower. To do what I'm doing.
Well, you do.
But there's something that we don't realize. It's like I'm a sovereign being.
Yeah.
And I'm connected in relationship to absolutely everyone I encounter.
I wholeheartedly agree.
And so I teach people to like check in with themselves, and then check in with other, and check in with yourself again, and check in with other. A lot of people are just pouring out and focused on the other, especially in intimate situations. Like, I want to do it right. I want to make sure it feels good. The other person has pleasure, but it's like, check in with yourself. Are you doing okay?
It's a hard concept because we've never been taught that.
No.
Right? It's always give others, show up for others. Yeah. What are we doing?
Performing.
We're
fucking performing.
We are.
We have so many masks.
Yeah. We really do. And yet the transition of love for self and putting self first, that selfless or whatever you defined it as, that ego is part of the unraveling.
Well, it's a gift.
Yeah, it is.
If you can listen to it.
Yeah. And I think the time is now to listen to it. Right. I think that's why I want to do this. And that's why I'm sitting with people like you, is because I want to bring light to the fact, if you're feeling that pull, it is important to listen to what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Because it does make a difference. And I believe in the same thing with you about relationships. Those, I believe that they're very much mirror reflections of ourselves. Sometimes hard to say out loud, but huge opportunity.
Well, if you're going through a crunchy time with your lover or your partner, that's the best opportunity
Yes.
to look inside and get curious.
But you have to both want to.
Yeah, a lot of us pick the wrong partner.
Yeah.
That's not interested in doing the work, maybe.
Yeah. And I think that's I think as I've watched so many go through or are going through right now, this gap of who your partner once was and who you were and who you are now.
Well, we're constantly evolving.
And we are, and growing at different levels, you know, and I believe that where I could have done different is remembered that my expectations aren't everyone else's.
Yeah.
Right. And that the way I grow, like you, I evolve every day, is not necessarily how others do as well. Right. And I think those things that we were taught are what mess it up, but also are putting a lot of people in places right now where we're very misaligned in our relationships.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you tell those people, because they're now at this place where they're struggling to work together?
A lot of people come see a relationship coach.
Yeah.
Embodiment coach.
Right. And so that's an opportunity, but what could we tell them to at least empower or embody right now? Because I think that's...
Well, I think there's 4 main things that we all need to live in thriving, like flourishing ways. And they're listening to our bodies, because our bodies really tell us the truth.
Oh, do they
so
ever?
It's really just about expansion or contraction, right? And so it's like that will tell you what you need. And listening to your feelings as like a North Star, right? And your feelings are telling you so much, and we want to stuff them down or ignore them or pretend we don't have them. Sometimes it's embarrassing to even admit we have feelings. So listening to your feelings, listening to your wants and needs, listening to your boundaries and your capacities. Because we don't think we're worthy of those things.
I know.
But just start listening to your body.
Yeah, it's hard to listen to your body when it's yelling so much sometimes, isn't it? Right? Like I got to a place in life where I had to get sick for me to wake up and listen, right? And so we got a lot of people now listening, but also in relationships and don't know what to do about it. And I think what you're saying is when we start to pay attention to ourselves, it's going to give us the next best step.
Absolutely.
Even though it's not always easy.
It's not going to be easy. There is if you want to shift, you have to face the fear.
And sometimes that fear is...
What did Einstein say? He's like, the definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Yeah.
It's really interesting that you say that, because my coach would always say to me, you get frustrated. You get super frustrated. You get really fucking frustrated. And then finally one day you wake up and you don't want to do it anymore. And you're really not going to change until you get there. Right?
There's a half-heartedness.
Yes.
Unless you commit fully, nothing is going to.
No, and committing fully when you're working on so much self-love, all the trauma, right, is a daily thing. Right? I don't know about you. I used to look at life, you know, in goals, one goal at a time. But now I look...
But externally focused.
Externally focused.
Make the goal yourself.
So my goal is now me, moment to moment.
Yes.
And it's okay if I want to sit on the ground in one moment.
Oh my gosh, we don't rest enough.
No. That's what makes me sad. So this Christmas, so I have this issue that I'm stuck on Superstore. I don't know if you've ever watched that show. It's a terrible, silly show, mindless show. And I got it. I'm in a loop. I love it because it's so silly and it makes me laugh.
But good. Laughter's wonderful.
But I sat on the couch for the entire week and pretty much watched it and was good with it.
Good. Amazing.
It's a feeling that I've never felt before.
Like it's okay to do
It's
nothing.
okay to do nothing.
Disconnect. Yes.
And I don't know about you, but that's where the sweet spot of becoming the best version of myself has come from. Rest. Learning that it's okay.
Quietness is important.
It really is. And that's something we're also not good at.
Well, if we're going, that we have that like perfectionist
Yeah.
attitude, or I'm not enough, so therefore I have to prove myself, or
Yep.
make sure I'm giving value to people, and I can validate through the feedback. And yeah, but if we don't take time to be quiet, then we can't listen to our hearts.
We can't hear it.
No.
I couldn't hear it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's also, I believe, with powerful hearts come powerful minds. So our mind can be a cycle, right? And that cycle is.
I try to get people out of their heads as much as possible into their hearts. There's so much wisdom here.
So I am a heart coherent follower.
Yes,
and
heart math.
Yeah, heart math is my. I love that word. That makes me sensual. I don't even know if that's the word, but it really has shifted everything for me, because as you tune into your heart, there is no push. There is no force.
No efforting.
Right? No effort. It just flows.
Yeah, it's like a magnetic.
It is.
Electromagnetic current.
It's a powerful thing, right? That we all tune in, but it takes time, patience, and listening.
To also like discipline, to weave in self-care practices. Like, make yourself a fucking priority.
I wholeheartedly agree. So as we get towards the end of our second podcast, I want to ask you this. So you just said something that's powerful, these self-care things that you do to help you. If you were to tell us what they are now, what would they be?
Oh my gosh, I have a 2-hour practice I do in the morning.
Love it, love it, love it.
I wake up and I do a gratitude meditation. I have an altar in my living room. I light a candle. I do like the incense. I also do mantras, which is chanting. I do both Pilates and yoga, and I'll have a cold shower.
I love this.
It all takes about 2 hours.
So what time do you wake up every day?
I don't see my first clients until 11.
Okay, but I love that. That works for you.
Because I don't like to wake up early. And so I'll get up around 8 just naturally, and then do my practices, have a slow breakfast afterwards, and then I'm ready for my clients with my cup already full.
I love that. I think it's so important to fill your cup every morning.
In order to be able to serve.
Yeah.
That's what my purpose is.
Mine too. And so what do you do when it's not full? What if you do that whole practice and you're not full?
Oh, it has never happened. But if it were, so what I did recently is I went 5 days alone in silence without my device into the woods in a cabin.
I want to go with you. I won't talk to you next time, but I want to go.
I make time for these things.
Me too.
So that I can have a full cup, because that is fundamental to the work that I do.
I feel you as you say that. And it's interesting to me, because that's been how I filled my cup in the last couple of years. In the morning, I do different than you, but that's what it fills my cup. But I will still say I am working on the fact that not every day my cup is full.
Right. Because you're giving.
Because I'm giving, but I've been much better at not giving when my cup is not full. I've been much better at doing different with my energy. I'm very mindful.
And be mindful of who you bring into your circle. Because so many energy vampires, many people that drain,
That's why I've been so precious with my time.
Yes.
So when I don't have a full cup, and it's interesting because a lot of my friends don't love it, but I don't give, and I give differently, but I just say I just still need some time. But I'm very proud of myself for doing that, because I think that's what really brings in the ultimate.
Well, and you're modeling.
Of love. And you're right. And I'm modeling.
For your children and for your friends. It's okay to say no.
Yeah, it is. Powerful thing. We could do a whole other podcast together.
So many.
I'm so grateful for this conversation. I hope that you felt it flowed.
Oh my gosh, such fire.
Yeah, it really did. I'd like to have you on again to have better discussion, or to have different discussion. Let me ask you this. If you were to leave us with one other tidbit, what would that be?
Believe in magic.
Believe in magic. Oh, be a kid again.
Yes, play, laugh.
Have
Life
fun.
is so goddamn fucking serious and challenging. Like, please.
Yep. And if someone wants to get in touch with you, what is the best way to do that?
I have a website.
Okay.
It's Onda, Onda, which I spent a lot of my time in Italy, and Onda means wave.
Okay.
Because we're riding the waves of life over here.
Love it.
Becoming expert surfers. So Onda, oh God, what's my website?
That's okay. We can share it on the
Thank you.
We can share the link
having
with
a
the
menopause,
podcast.
like,
That's okay. That's what I like. I think one day I'd like to talk about menopause because I think that's a whole other ball game for sure. If anyone wants to get in touch with you, we'll make sure that website is. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for empowering us with the love and the light that you bring. It is very true to my soul that you show up with a full cup. And a full cup for people that need it and also want to learn how to bring it is a powerful thing. Yeah. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you.
It is such a pleasure to have you today.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And thank you to our listeners. I think that I feel blessed that you're taking the time to listen and have the courage to hear incredible people share their story, because when we do this, we grow and we empower others to do the same. So thank you very much.